人生如一场旅行，在这漫漫旅程中邂逅不同的风景。他们与中国的邂逅亦是如此。
我第一次来北京是2015年的时候，
那时候很年轻，21岁。
他们跋山涉水来到中国，在这里开启一段奇妙的旅行。
太好吃了！
哦哇，你可以讲中文吗？风景区啊，名胜古迹啊，特别美。
他们寻路中国，进入中国，
这样的一个经历是非常有价值的，
特别想改变西方人眼里的这个中国。
每一段旅程都是一次宝贵的体验，每一次遇见都是一份珍贵的礼物。今天在这里，他们讲述着人生的平凡与传奇。
我叫艾伦，My name is Aaron Verkovich。我2011年是第一次来到北京。我原来是来参加一个6岁的项目，从美国大学在华盛顿去北京大学，花了1年多的时间学习国际贸易、语言，还有历史和人类学，就上了1年的课，做这个本科的6岁的项目。2013年开始自己的一个创业，开了自己的一个公司叫 Peking Productions。我们是一个传媒公司，帮助世界各地的一些不同的客户做宣传，包括拍摄、设计、纪录片等等。
When's your first time to come to China?
I was a foreign exchange student in 2011 from American University in Washington, D.C. So I spent a summer and fall semester at Peking University.
How did you apply that program to come Peking University?
So American University, I believe, had the first international exchange for university students. So my university had a long-term cooperation. It was originally established underneath the history department of Peking University. But we were able to do language classes, anthropology classes, business classes throughout the campus.
So what's your impression of China before you come to China?
So I come from Southern California. And there's a lot of different Chinese people. One of my best friends in high school is actually born in Beijing. So I knew a little bit about the food, but before I came, I didn't know too much. When I was trying to decide, do I want to study, where I wanted to study abroad, a couple of my friends who were a couple years ahead of me had already done the China program, and they told me about the different adventures and experiences that they had. And then after the Olympics, all of my classes, especially the business school, it was China this, China that. It was the land of opportunity at the time, so I decided to come here.
What's the most different things before come to China and after you get to China?
Well, I didn't have as many expectations before. My family's been doing business with China since the 80s. I have an uncle that's been in the fashion industry and has been coming back and forth. Some of my other family do import-export businesses for different types of things. So on the business side, I knew there's a lot going on as a source of manufacturing, as a source of just different cooperation. And then for me, I came with just kind of an open mind to share, experience what's possible. And coming from a university in Washington, D.C., which is also a capital, being able to connect with the diplomatic community, having something that's really international and really global, connecting with people from all over the world, all sorts of backgrounds, it provides a really kind of unique environment.
When did you decide to start your business in China?
So I first started my business in 2013. So after I graduated university, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do yet, but I knew language would be something very important. So I came back, spent another 6 months at Peking University just studying language before I started working. Before COVID, we specialized in kind of event photography, conferences, diplomatic events. So I've had a chance to photograph 32 heads of state since I've been in China. And then it kind of expanded from there. So coming from a background doing production, communication, marketing in Washington, understanding kind of that sphere of working within diplomatic or multinational spaces, there was a lot of opportunity to really try working here.
So why Beijing? Why you started business in Beijing?
When I spent a year studying here, every weekend I'd try and pick a different subway stop and just explore the different neighborhoods and connect with the different people, the different elements of it. And there's just so much. Having had a lot of opportunities to travel across the country, whether it's Sichuan, Yunnan, Heilongjiang, Zhejiang, all the different places, there's just so many different landscapes, flavors, people, stories. It's really a diverse and exciting place to explore. And then while studying at Beida, just really falling in love with the city and the people here, they're quite exceptional. Both local and foreign, in terms of their openness to new relationships and connections and finding different ways to cooperate. So it's been very exciting.
So in the past 10 years, what do you think is the most things that change a lot in Beijing?
So I've noticed that Beijing reinvents itself in almost a 3-year cycle. So regardless of what's going on in the world, it's a very transient population. So looking at multinationals, embassies, schools, and even people from around China that come to work in Beijing, it rotates on a 3-year or so schedule, and then how the local government supports district development. You have 1 year that's really focused on Chaoyang, another that's really focused on Dongcheng, another that's focused on Fengtai. So you have these pockets of innovation and development that are constantly happening and evolving. So every 3 years or so, it feels almost like it's a new city with new connections and new opportunities, new restaurants. So it's always something new and exciting.
So how do you like the entrepreneur environment in Beijing? Do you think that Beijing have the overall entrepreneurship atmosphere?
I find it very interesting, and I think there are also pockets. So Beijing is a massive city. It's bigger than a lot of countries by itself, both in terms of its economy, its population, different opportunities. So being in such densely concentrated multinational environment, I think provides a lot of really unique opportunities. Over the years, I've also seen a lot of really incredible efforts to make it more accessible and easier for foreigners, especially to set up their businesses. We recently helped a project to introduce how to register a business or how to set up and operate as an entrepreneur in China. So the initiatives being done by both local government and the private sector to create a more supportive environment has been really impressive. Definitely unique challenges, but I think that's true for any city. But I think there's a lot of support in terms of community, in terms of policy, in terms of just general opportunity, despite any of the other challenges.
Can you describe a little bit about your company and what do you do?
So my company is called Peking Productions. We're a full-service creative agency that's trying to facilitate cross-cultural communication. We do that through creative services such as photography, videography, marketing, strategy, social media. And we've worked with a variety of clients, both Chinese, foreign, small, multinational, government, to help them communicate more effectively across borders or between cultures.
What's the main product or main service you provide?
So it's evolved depending on the needs of different markets. Now, our biggest projects are usually video production. So either as documentary series, corporate video introductions, ongoing social media content, where to engage or connect with different audiences, being able to facilitate multiple touch points to really communicate value, communicate identity, being able to tell stories in a way that can connect with people.
How do you like to continue your entrepreneurship in Beijing? Yeah, what do you have the plan in the future?
So historically, when you're looking at production companies or media companies, you have anchor clients where you understand their brand in some cases better than themselves. So it's really about long-term communication, strategy, and deeper connections with the audience. Moving towards the future, I think the key to success in content creation is being able to have your own audience. So we're hoping to start creating our own kind of videos, our own content for ourselves to really start building and connecting a community.
What's the biggest challenge you have faced since you started your business?
Similar to any kind of entrepreneurship, if you're trying to pivot, rebranding or changing the perception of what you can offer can always be a big challenge. So for us, we originally started just doing event photography. So being able to move from photography to videography, or from videography to being able to provide, as we expanded our company, a plethora of different services was definitely a challenge. And then during the couple of difficult years where the market closed, particularly for foreigners coming into China or even within Beijing, it definitely presented a lot of unique challenges based on what we were able to do. A lot of our clients being stuck outside of Beijing or not being able to continue those international cooperations. It was definitely a challenge for business. Now, as things are opening up again, I see a slow return to these international dialogues, these different connections. So I'm hopeful for a return of these more deep, long-term multinational collaborations.
All right. Beside the work, do you have another interest or hobbies? And how do you play your leisure time in Beijing?
So I'm definitely a big foodie. And after coming to Beijing and discovering what real Chinese food actually is,
You found the right place.
it's amazing. And one of the projects we're hoping to launch soon will be either a TV show or social media kind of channel focusing on really showing authentic or different types of cuisine. So for me, any opportunity I get to explore the city, to find new restaurants, to make different connections, I really enjoy getting to explore that way. Or outside of work, I'm still a photographer. It's very much a passion. So being able to go take photos around the city when I travel, definitely something I really enjoy doing.
What's the most favorite food in Beijing for you?
So I normally don't like to eat the same food twice, usually in a row. So every meal I'll try and have something different at least every week.
Which one leave you the most impression?
So I love Yunnan food.
Yunnan food, yeah.
It's fantastic. And your office near here, there's a really fantastic one, Yizuo Yuwang, which is magnificent.
In the SKP?
Just in SKP.
Oh, okay.
One of my favorite Yunnan restaurants. In the winter, hot pot, I mean, when I learned what huoguo was, it's magical.
There's different type of huoguo in China. Yeah.
I have a northern stomach, so I definitely prefer like Beijing
涮羊肉
涮羊肉这种麻酱这些。
Okay. And can you tell us one or two very interesting stories you encountered in China or in Beijing?
So one of the earlier projects I had a chance to do was for Xbox. They were launching a video game called Rise of the Tomb Raider. So as I was early on in my career trying to find different opportunities to build my art and to really connect with different things, I had this chance to do the key visuals for this game launch. So they had the character model, so a cosplayer dressed in the full outfit who was involved in actually making the game. And we went up to the Great Wall on one of the most polluted days in Beijing to shoot these images of Lara Croft on the Great Wall, feeling like it's in the game. So being able to work with a small team in the snow, up on the Great Wall, taking some absolutely incredible pictures, was definitely something quite unique. And then seeing the responses on social media to these types of images where they feel like, oh, we have a direct connection to this international IP and being able to do different things, that was really cool. Or another one was the Iron Man 3 premiere. Robert Downey Jr. came to Beijing and they rented out the familial temple just outside of the Forbidden City. So it's inside one of the Forbidden City complexes, massive production. Robert Downey Jr. popping out from like under the stage, and I was able to walk the red carpet next to Robert Downey Jr. and take his pictures in the middle of the Forbidden City with hundreds of celebrities and thousands of fans and the bleachers behind. It was definitely a really kind of cool experience. So one of the really exciting projects that really helped kickstart my career was photographing the launch of Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's a Lara Croft series where we had a character model, so a cosplayer, full costume, going up to the Great Wall on a really cloudy, snowy day, being able to create these contents that really felt like you're in the game. So being able to shoot with the background of the Great Wall covered in snow. You can't see any of the horizons, and also seeing the response of the local audience and their connection to this international brand was really exciting and profound.
What is your favorite place in Beijing?
So one of the earliest places that I discovered that I always absolutely love going back to is 798 798. It's an art district near Zhouxianqiao that really captures kind of the spirit of, I think, the creative side of Beijing, whether it's the graffiti or sculpture, painting, performance, music, food, even like craft breweries. There's a couple that are like hidden gems inside that one space. So if you like exploring different environments, food, art, creativity, then I really would recommend checking out the 798 Art District.
What about now?
It's a lot more commercial than it used to be, but there's always something there. So I think it's similar to the city itself. It's constantly reinventing itself and reconnecting with different communities.